What if one man had succeeded in uniting every Native American tribe into one powerful nation? That was the dream of Tecumseh, a Shawnee warrior, diplomat, and visionary. He came closer than anyone to making it real. His story is dramatic, inspiring, and tragic. He tried to stop U.S. expansion with words, alliances, and battles, but in the end, betrayal and war ended his dream. And yet his name still echoes through history. This is the story of Tecumseh, the man they called the Shooting Star. Tecumseh was born in March of 1768 in the Ohio River Valley, a place that was becoming a battleground between native peoples and waves of white settlers. His name in Shawnee meant panther across the sky, but history would remember him differently, as a man who burned bright and fast, leaving behind a legacy that outlived him. His childhood was filled with loss. When Tecumseh was just a boy, his father was killed in a battle against American frontiersmen. Settlers continued pushing deeper into Shawnee territory, cutting down forests, clearing fields, and building cabins. Tecumseh and his people were forced further and further west. That sense of being hunted, of always losing ground, would shape the young warrior's view of the world. By his teenage years, Tecumseh was already a fighter, but unlike some others, he fought with unusual discipline. He was known for his courage, but also for his humanity. He refused to torture prisoners. He believed that cruelty weakened their cause, and he wanted something greater than revenge. Even as a boy, he was thinking about strategy, about honor, about unity. Tecumseh understood something most did not. If native tribes continued to fight separately, each defending their own small piece of land, they would all be pushed aside. Only together could they hope to resist. That vision began to take form thanks to an unlikely ally, his younger brother, Tenskwatawa. For years, Tenskwatawa had been seen as a failure, a drunkard. But in 1805, everything changed. He fell into a trance and claimed to have received a vision from the Great Spirit. In that vision, the Creator commanded native people to reject alcohol, reject European clothing and tools, and return to their traditions. Suddenly, Tenskwatawa became the prophet, and Tecumseh recognized the power of this transformation. His brother could offer spiritual guidance, while Tecumseh could provide the political and military leadership. The brothers built a settlement called Prophetstown near the Tippecanoe and Wabash rivers. It became a magnet for native resistance. Tribes from all over the Midwest, Shawnee, Potawatomi, Kickapoo, Delaware, and more, sent warriors and families to join them. Tecumseh's message was revolutionary. He declared that native land was not the property of individual tribes. It belonged to all native people collectively. No single chief, he said, had the right to sell it. Every treaty signed with the U.S. without the consent of all tribes was illegitimate. It was a bold idea and a direct threat to the way the United States expanded. The U.S. government negotiated treaties with one tribe at a time, picking them off, forcing them to give up land piece by piece. Tecumseh's dream of a united Confederacy made that impossible, and the United States took notice. In 1809, Governor William Henry Harrison of the Indiana Territory struck a deal at the Treaty of Fort Wayne. By pressuring and bribing individual chiefs, he secured 3 million acres of native land. Tecumseh immediately denounced it as fraudulent. The following year, Tecumseh confronted Harrison face-to-face at Vincennes, Indiana. Witnesses described Tecumseh's speech as powerful, fiery, almost overwhelming. He told Harrison, "The Great Spirit gave this land to all Indians. It cannot be sold without the consent of all. No tribe has the right to sell, not even to each other. Sell a country? Why not sell the air, the clouds, and the great sea as well?" Harrison was shaken, but he refused to back down. Tecumseh left determined to expand his Confederacy even further. He traveled south, meeting with the Creek, Choctaw, and Chickasaw. He urged them to join his movement. Many were hesitant, but Tecumseh's words planted seeds of resistance. But while Tecumseh was away, disaster struck. In November 1811, Harrison marched a force of over 1,000 men to Prophetstown. Tenskwatawa, left in charge, believed his visions made the native warriors invincible. Against Tecumseh's orders, he attacked. The result was the Battle of Tippecanoe. Harrison's men burned Prophetstown to the ground. Tecumseh's dream was badly wounded, but not dead. He returned furious at his brother's failure, but still unwilling to give up. When war erupted between the United States and Britain in 1812, Tecumseh saw his chance. He allied with the British, believing they would support his vision of a native confederacy. At first, the partnership worked. In August of 1812, Tecumseh's warriors fought alongside the British to capture Detroit. The American general William Hull surrendered without a major fight, partly because Tecumseh's warriors cut off supply lines and terrified the Americans with their skill. Even Hull admitted Tecumseh was a military genius. For a while, Tecumseh seemed unstoppable. His reputation spread. American soldiers whispered his name with fear. His own people began to believe the dream was within reach. But the alliance was fragile. To the British, native warriors were useful allies, but never equals. They wanted to hurt the United States, not to create an independent native nation. In 1813, the fragile partnership collapsed. After a series of defeats, the British retreated into Canada, pursued by American forces under William Henry Harrison. Tecumseh begged the British commander to stand and fight, but the British pulled back. Tecumseh, however, refused to run. On October 5, 1813, at the Battle of the Thames, Tecumseh led his warriors into battle one last time. He fought fiercely, but outnumbered and abandoned. The native force was overwhelmed. Tecumseh was killed. His body was never conclusively identified. Some said he was scalped by American soldiers. Others claimed his people carried him away. To this day, his final resting place is a mystery. With Tecumseh's death, the dream of a united native confederacy collapsed. His warriors scattered. The United States tightened its grip on the Midwest. But his legend lived on. Even his enemies respected him. Harrison himself admitted that the loss of Tecumseh was devastating to native resistance. American newspapers, though hostile, often portrayed him as a noble warrior rather than a savage. To many settlers, Tecumseh represented the last great stand of native independence. Stories about Tecumseh continued long after his death. Some claimed he placed a curse on American presidents. According to legend, every U.S. president elected in a year ending in 0 would die in office. William Henry Harrison, elected in 1840, died just 1 month into his term. Abraham Lincoln, James Garfield, William McKinley, Warren Harding, Franklin Roosevelt, and John F. Kennedy, all elected in 0 years, died in office. The so-called Tecumseh's curse seemed unbreakable until Ronald Reagan, elected in 1980, survived an assassination attempt. But beyond curses and folklore, Tecumseh's real legacy was his vision. He dreamed of unity across hundreds of tribes, across vast distances, across rivalries and histories of conflict. No one before or since came as close to achieving that goal. Today, Tecumseh is remembered as both warrior and diplomat, a leader who refused to accept the inevitability of conquest. He saw clearly that division meant destruction. His vision failed in his lifetime, but it continues to inspire movements for native sovereignty and unity. Tecumseh was more than just a fighter. He was a dreamer of nations, a man who believed his people could stand as equals, not just in battle, but in destiny. He was the shooting star of his time, burning bright, gone too soon, but leaving behind a light that still lingers in the night sky of history.